everyday thing. It's an everyday thing. It's an everyday thing when you let your nuts hang.
Trump is not happy with his favorite U.S. attorney. The administration spent the last month blaming vandals for damage to the reflecting pool that Trump spent $14 million of taxpayer money to upgrade. But late Friday afternoon, U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro dropped charges against a 67-year-old Olympian canoeist and said the real culprit was a, quote, botched installation. In an even more extraordinary move, she accused the Interior Department of misleading federal prosecutors. Within hours, Trump posted, quote, I disagree 100% with Pirro, and says, I don't know what she was thinking. It was a pure case of vandalism. My excellent panel is back. This is wild.
You know what's wild is disregard the facts. Let's just blame the vandals. Like, disregard the facts that it was not a good job. It was a rush job. You did it. You tried to do it in just a few days. When if you would have just took your time, it didn't matter if it was ready by 4th of July. It would have been done right. So $14 million of taxpayers' money was wasted. And now you have to redo the job that cost $14 million. And I wonder who's going to take the bid on that one. Certainly not the same company, right?
What a story. And it is real life. It is. Kristen, you cover the White House. What are you hearing about how Trump is going to respond?
He's incredibly angry.
Is he going to dump Pirro?
It's unclear. I mean, what we've seen this time around is it takes a little bit more to actually get him to fire somebody than it did the first time around. But if he is calling you out by name and saying that he 100% disagrees with you, I will just remind you of our reporting a week or two ago when Wright signed this deal with Saudi Arabia, this nuclear deal that President Trump was not briefed on. He was livid at Chris Wright. His team was livid at Chris Wright. Trump thinks he should be the one, if there's any kind of deal being made, that he gets to be the one to announce it. He was asked in the Oval Office if he was mad, and he brushed off the question multiple times. He has started doing that, even when he is very mad. If he is writing on Truth Social that he is 100% in disagreement with you, you are in a very bad place with the president.
Because the administration spent weeks trying to convince the American public that there was actual vandalism, including Jeanine Pirro. Listen.
And vandalism, no, vandals. You know, we have I think 290, 300-foot slit right through it, probably a box cutter or a knife of some kind.
This is a case with tremendous evidence, and this is a case where the evidence dictates where we land.
It peeled off. Why? Why did that happen? Do you know?
It didn't peel off. There was vandalism. There was box cutters. There have been 7 arrests. There was people literally trying to destroy part of a monument.
He doesn't get more loyal than Jeanine Pirro.
Right. And so to me, what's striking is how bad did what she received and what she reviewed refute what she had been saying for her to take the extraordinary step, not just of dropping the charges, but saying that the Interior Department had misled the U.S. Attorney's Office. Like, for her to go out there and say that, for her to completely reverse course, for her to openly contradict the Trump administration.
Well, actually, some people actually have souls, and being a judge, your integrity is of the importance, because even if you lose your spot with, you know, whatever court she's over, even if you lose your spot there, you can still go be a judge. But if you are willing to lie and your integrity be put in question, do you think other courts would hire you? I mean, somebody will, because maybe for whatever reason, political reasons. But I just think that it wasn't Jeanine Pirro. She was a TV show. She was a court judge too at one point. So with her being a TV judge, I think her reputation is on the line. And if there is no foul play, I wouldn't see her locking somebody up over false reports or reports that weren't exactly correct. And I want to understand how they arrested the Olympian, how they arrested him. Did they find a box cutter on him? If someone witnessed him cutting it, where's that witness? And we need to hear something, because you got a man locked up. And of course, whatever happened never happened. It was just a terrible job.
Means to me that it was really bad behind the scenes and that she really feels like she had no choice but to protect her own integrity, her own license, or, her own livelihood, so to speak, by saying, nope, I'm not going any further with this.
This is what she said, Elliot. It was not until USAO DC repeatedly reached out to DOI, Interior Department, dozens and dozens of times that the DOI slowly started trickling information to the U.S. Attorney in DC. Had the Department of Interior been forthcoming with the information clearly in its possession, the government would not have sought a grand jury indictment. Have you ever seen anything like this?
Manu, I have not. That is vicious to put in a court pleading. And quite frankly, they did not have to. This was one cabinet department, or at least one sub-cabinet department, throwing another under the bus. She really went after. Other language is DOI, Department of the Interior, provided less than fulsome information about the case. They are saying, and the interesting thing is, you played a series of clips about people saying there was vandalism. Maybe there was vandalism at some point. The one place that it was never established that there was vandalism in a court. Never once did the U.S. Attorney's Office come forward and say that this person maliciously, which is the word used in the statute, maliciously intended to destroy government property. Nowhere was that ever presented to a court. It's just the president and the secretary just simply throwing it out there into the world. And so that filing, and I would urge all Americans to read it, it's only about 10 pages long, is really a remarkable exercise in members of government sniping at each other behind the scenes because they were misled.
But also it's for survival.
And speaking of survival, this is Doug Burgum posting just yesterday. He says, we also provided the U.S. Attorney's Office expert and eyewitness testimony to the damage done by vandals and provided every piece of evidence they asked for in the requested timeline detailing each area of damage at the pool. He's siding with Trump. Perhaps not surprisingly.
God, we have senior level officials of the President of the United States, the Interior Secretary, U.S. Attorney for D.C. spending God knows how much time on this ridiculous issue. I mean, it's just insane. It's just completely insane. When I saw Burgum's statement, I was like, "Oh, you got to be kidding me!" But her statement was so. Because we go back to your point, because she's got to go in court. Prosecutors got to go in court and say this. And Elliot, that's a different standard.
And Elliot, there's this bunch of cases the viewers can see about how Pirro's had struggled on a number of cases.
Yeah,
and the U.S. Attorney's Office.
Right, and to be clear, prosecutors jeopardize their law licenses when they go into court trying to argue cases that are not based in reality or fact or aren't supported by the law.
That's what I was saying, but he's saying actual licenses. But I'll say your reputation is on the line when you are maliciously and intently filing charges, indicting someone by the grand jury on false allegations, something that's been proven that was not true. He said a 300-foot slit. Do you know how tough it might be to run 300 feet down a wall, bending over at 60 years old to cut something? And he cut this thing 300 feet, bending down, and he did it all within a matter of, I guess, minutes that someone's seen this happen. I just don't believe it. I mean, there's some healthy 60-year-olds. He's an Olympian. He might be in shape. He might be able to bend down and cut a pool for 300 yards. And but I don't know. Unless they was running a relay. They were running a relay. They said 7 people were arrested for this crime. So 7 people lined up approximately 30 feet away, or no, 7 times, approximately 40 feet away from each other. So 7 people did a 40-yard relay, and the baton was a box cutter. And guess they didn't find the box cutter. I mean, if they would have found a box cutter, that would have been probably prime evidence that somebody did something, but no box cutter was found on the scene. Just like no weapons of mass destruction, just like no enriched uranium.
law. And this became a serious, quite literally, legal ethics question for the Justice Department if they were to have tried to proceed with prosecuting this person on the basis of literally no evidence. And I'll be the first person, Manu, to tell you, if you see someone vandalizing federal property, that is a crime and they ought to go to jail for it. But the simple fact is that didn't happen here. It was sort of pulled out of thin air by the president, at least in this case, as it seems, and to some extent the right result happened here.
Yeah, and the president put out a video on Truth Social on Saturday defending what he said, but the video didn't really back up what he said. So
here with me in the Situation Room, Washington correspondent Sunderland Sarfati is working on this story. So what happens now that President Trump has actually called out this Justice Department decision?
Yeah, well, this certainly, Wolf, has turned into a very public spat for the Trump administration. And President Trump has been very clear that he's essentially not backing down from that. The DOJ now arguing that based on new information they say that they have received from the Department of Interior, that they believe that the problems with the reflecting pool was not due to vandalism, but was due to botched installation from the contractors, and also this rush to get it done before the July 4th holiday that President Trump had wanted. Now, Trump, again, has doubled down over the weekends. He did acknowledge in a social media post, he did say that there may have been some contractor difficulty, but said the installation, the major damage, he says, was caused by vandals. He says, quote, "I disagree 100% with Jeanine Pirro, the U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia, on the reflecting pool. I don't know what she was thinking. To me, it was a pure case of vandalism." And he said this without new evidence. He continued to allege that this was the majority of the damage was due to vandalism. And that's something that, well, if we also saw the Interior Secretary over the weekend repeat, saying, quote, "The evidence is clear. Vandals have repeatedly caused damage to the reflecting pool. Some of these acts were even caught on camera. We are provided the U.S. Attorney's Office expert and eyewitness testimony to the damage done by vandals and provided every piece of evidence they asked for in the requested timeline detailing each area of damage to the pool."
So I would take that if there is camera footage, then since this case is now there's no longer anybody in prison or in jail for it, that they will be releasing that footage, showing people, running out of the woods and with mask on and cutting 300 feet worth of pool liner. I don't know.
So again, a lot more to learn here, but as far as what happens next, we could potentially see some focus on the contractors. They, of course, won that no-bid contract. Could we see, federal oversight here, potentially try to recoup the taxpayers' money? And
Jeanine Pirro, the U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia, has already dropped all charges against the former Olympian who was charged with vandalism as far as the pool is concerned.
That's right. She has, and interesting that the attorneys in that case indicated that they could potentially bring a civil suit. We saw the lawyer over the weekend of David Hearn, who was originally indicted, saying this is far from over yet.
All right, we'll see what happens next. Thanks very much, Sunderland Sarfati, reporting.
I want to play something that the Interior Secretary Doug Burgum told me about the reflecting pool. Let's watch.
It didn't peel off. There was vandalism. There was box cutters. There have been 7 arrests. There was people literally trying to destroy part of a monument.
And you're 100% sure that what happened with the liner was vandalism. You can prove it.
Oh yeah, absolutely can. And as we drain it, we've got all the photographs.
As you well know, the U.S. Attorney here in D.C., Jeanine Pirro, says that vandalism did not damage the pool, but it was a hasty and botched contract renovation that did. They dropped their case, a criminal case that they had against a former Olympian, David Hearn. Given what he's gone through, should he be eligible for money from the Anti-Weaponization Fund?
Well, that'd be up to the board. I mean, if this thing is formed, remember, that's up to, I don't make the decision, it's up to them. What I do know is Peter Strzok shouldn't have got $1.2 million.
So you have an opinion on that?
President Trump's election campaign.
You have an opinion that he shouldn't have got it. What about David Hearn?
Well, that'll be up to the board. And I don't know all the facts. This story just broke. I don't know all the facts, why they did, why the Justice Department dropped the case, why the Department of Interior said that there was something there. I'd have to go look at all that. We'd have to look. What I do know.
All right, so this company is from Atoka, Oklahoma.
All righty, it's time for celebration. 2 Soma companies helped get the nation's capital ready for America's 250th birthday.
KXI 12's Mia Medellin tells us how small firms landed a big job in Washington.
From southeastern Oklahoma to the nation's capital, two small-town businesses got the call for a job they'll never forget.
We're just 2 years old from Oklahoma to get the chance to do this.
Mid-America Coating and Exodus Mobile Cleaning, both from Atoka, were chosen this spring to renovate the Lincoln Memorial Reflecting Pool.
We sandblasted, we washed, we assisted in every inch of the project.
61 days total, 12 hours a day and 7 days a week.
They had a total of 4 days off because that was where it was just raining so much that they could not work.
Powell says the project went smoothly.
Because obviously none of us had done a project of that magnitude. So, I mean, but at the end of the day, we've all done that. It was just bigger.
The Reflecting Pool's last major renovation was 14 years ago. This time, crews sealed cracks, deep cleaned it, and coated the bottom dark blue, what President Trump calls American flag blue.
So this is now open, and we have it finished. The water is pouring in as we speak. These are proud people from Oklahoma. They came from Oklahoma, a company from Oklahoma, to do it.
It feels great. It really does. Just to know that we're going to, you know, our name is there. Our footprints are on that reflecting pool. And that's something we can tell our grandkids and bring them here one day and show them.
Powell came back to Washington on this Tuesday, and
I just flew over it and I looked out of the window of the plane and I was like, wow, it's different than it looked 2 weeks ago.
From Atoka to D.C., their work is now part of an American landmark.
I don't think they want to claim that no more. Y'all better not claim that one. You claiming that one? I wouldn't claim that one, big dog. Shit. Let me know what y'all think about that in the comment section.